Three outbound channels, channel 3, channel 4, and channel 5. What we do at the head end is we patch the signal that comes from this card, we patch that to an outbound channel, channel 5, and then anybody within the school can tune their equipment to channel 5 and receive the signal from this card. So we have a remote broadcast card capable of delivering signal to anywhere in the school.
Okay.
So how we do that is I'm going to go through some basic connections on the card, and there's also some paperwork left behind to help you folks out. There are basically only 5 connections to this card, and so we're going to go ahead and do those now. The first 2 connections are an audio and video input to this device, which must be connected to the audio and video output from your camera or camcorder. So we're going to, now your camcorder has 3 plugs, and the reason why they have 3 plugs is the signal they're sending is in stereo. All of our cable equipment is mono, so we're not going to worry about the red connector, which is your right channel, the output from your camcorder. We're just going to take the left channel, which is the white, and we're going to plug it in to our audio connector, the card's audio connector, and we're going to connect your video output from your camera into the video input into the card.
Is there a reason we didn't go red on red?
What I've been told by industry leaders, this is years ago, and the standards may have even changed since then, but it used to be the left channel was the preferred channel to take your output on if you have a left and right source.
And the white is the left channel.
White is the left. Now the reason why we just have red here is that's just the way the cabling came from the cable. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Okay.
It's a mono feed. It's not left channel or right channel. It's simply just an audio in feed.
Okay.
Which would be received by all the equipment in the classroom as right and left channel.
Okay.
If you have a device that actually runs left and right.
So if we were to go red on red, it simply means that the speak would only come out of a right speaker as opposed to a left speaker?
No, it'd be just the opposite. It really doesn't make, to be real honest, with using just a standard camcorder, it really doesn't make any difference because the mic pickup in the camera for left and right channel are so close together generally, it really doesn't make that big a difference. So I think we're kind of making that more complicated than it really is.
Yeah.
The simple thing is the preferred way to do it is if you have left and right channel is use the left channel. That's what I've always been told. So.
Okay. So quick side topic. In the future, we're talking about maybe connecting our right and left microphones that will actually be hung from the catwalks to this device so we can feed and record from those pickups. Is it possible to rewire this in the future to have right and left inputs going to that unit?
What you would have to do before it enters the card is you'd have to run it into some sort of mixer, mix your channels together, and mix them to a mono mix, and then into
Okay, so it's strictly mono on this box?
This is mono. It's a mono. This sends in
whole
mono.
system.
This does not send in stereo.
Okay, perfect.
So
That answers that question then.
This
Thanks.
is educational equipment. We go a little bit lower end rather than professional gear. So
Okay.
anyway, there's your audio and video connection going into the card. Then you have 2 coaxial cables. One says connect to TV, and that's simply to provide you with a monitoring source if you brought in a TV, like some schools use a little 13-inch TV set here. And you can plug this in, and that way you can monitor your signal without having to go into a classroom or turn on a video projector or whatever to just actually see your signal. So that's one coax cable. The other coax cable is labeled connect to wall outlet or connect to CATV outlet, and anywhere in the school, if you locate a CATV wall outlet, and this would be one right here, those are our signal connections on the card, and the last connection you'd make is plugging in the power. Once you've made all these cable connections, then you plug it in. So the sequence is your low voltage wiring first, then you connect to your high voltage, And when you go to tear down after your performance, then you unplug first, and then you disconnect these. The reason for that is that the electronics on this card are actually broadcasting out radio waves. And without this one cable being terminated properly, you're actually radiating into the airwaves. So we want to avoid that. So that kind of concludes the card setup. The CATV head-end equipment, and the items that we're going to be concerned about are the windows on these two devices and this patch cord right here. What is happening is that the cart is sending a signal to this piece of equipment right here, and this piece of equipment has to be set to -8 so it can receive the signal from the cart. Once it receives the signal, it sends the audio and video information to these two plugs. The video is on top, the audio is on bottom. And what we're going to do is simply we're going to patch the audio out from the demodulator, and we're going to patch that into the audio in on this device called a modulator. And we need to make sure that the window on this modulator says 5. So when we come in here, well, let me go back here. We're also going to make a video connection from the video out of the demodulator and plug that into the video in of this modulator. It's a processor, and what it does is we have a cable converter box right here from Comcast. And this converter box is connected up to this device through this cable, and this device is looking for channel 3, and once it finds it, it amplifies it and sends it out to your school on channel 3. So just an FYI, if there's a presidential debate or something that's happening and you really need to see it, one of the things you would do is you'd come in here and change the channel on the Comcast converter to CNN or ABC, wherever you want to go, and then confirm that this is on 3 and 3, and that is sending that broadcast out to your classroom. Matter of fact, that's what you were seeing when we looked at your signal.
Was channel
Was channel 3. And it
Channel
was
3 on your local.
yes,
but it was channel 44.
Channel 44 on
is
Comcast.
CNN. We also have a DVD VCR player hooked up right now through this, which is modulator 1, video in and audio in. Sends it up to this device, which sends out to the school channel 4. So if we were to put in a DVD in here and press play, that would show up in your classroom
On channel 4.
Channel 4.
Nice.
So there's your CATV system for your school. You could actually just set up your cart, and if it operates, you know it's intact.
working. Yeah.
If it's not, this is one of the places you want to come to troubleshoot. Okay, let's say somebody did get their fingers in here and change the channel on this equipment. The way it's changed is there's a little toggle switch here, and if you hold that, it'll start changing numbers. So what we're looking for again is to put that on 5 on the, this is called the modulator 2. This is is modulator number 2, and what we want is we want that to be on channel 5. And this is our demodulator, and we want our demodulator to say -8. And again, if somebody gets in here and dinks around a little bit, we may see different numbers there. So we want to make sure those are on there. We want to make sure our video is patched from video out to video in, and from audio out to audio in.
Perfect. Okay.
And that concludes the head-in.
This morning I was like,
And then we simply
$500
plug in the card,
Camera.
and we should be. Now, there's no switches to turn on with this thing.
The only
Mark?
thing we want to be aware of is the numbering that comes up,
Oh,
and that
yes.
should be 88,
That's on
as it
88.
says on the paperwork.
Okay, and that's all set on 88.
Okay?
And it looks like our modulation indicator is working. Everything's okay. We
Yep.
want video.
Actually, you don't have to mess with any of that.
Don't touch
Yeah.
any of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've
But it
taped, I've taped over the controls, so hopefully that'll eliminate people from...
Okay. So this
Turning
one does have a
knobs.
toggle switch, and there's nothing
No,
over
the
that
toggle,
one, but
toggle
it's
switch is over here.
but this one should be down as in video.
That's actually just to monitor this window here. Now we're actually monitoring audio.
Oh, I get it. Okay, that's just a
So
okay.
that's just a switch to, for the
Okay.
indicator.
And if my numbers were screwed up here, I would simply depress that until the numbers started to go.
Yep.
And then I'd be good. But I think I'm ready to rock right now.
You are rocking right now.
I hope we are rocking.
So if we want to
Excellent.
go into the choir room and double check, make sure. But
Okay.
what, most classrooms are wired where the sound output from the tuner goes into an audio jack right here, which then feeds an
Feeds the
amplified
overhead.
speaker. That's an amplified speaker up there.
Okay.
And it has its own little remote with volume control. So it
Yeah.
goes
So we just
from the
want
output of that,
to which is
it should
the
say output.
audio in, audio speaker out.
There
That
it is.
speaker out and go
So
there,
if we go there,
and now it goes through the little speaker.
yeah.
So you would change the channel here to get to your channel 5 just by selecting one of your source input on this little guy here.
Correct.
Okay.
And it just has to be on. When the little blue light is off, it's off. When it's on, it's on.
Perfect.